Welcome back to the Stephen A. Show. Adam, how's it going? How's DC?
It's going great, Steven. DC's good. The fall's coming in, so it's feeling nice. How's it over there? Hurricane time?
Actually, it hasn't been bad, but I heard we might be getting some weather, but it has not been bad. It was a beautiful weekend. Today was a beautiful day. We got out of the 90s. We were in the 90s last week.
Yeah.
So Friday, and then Friday went to the 80s and 70s, and so we're good now. But I heard that we might be getting some of the weather from hurricanes, so we'll
Good
see.
luck.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you all take it away. Movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I was out of town for a little bit of last weekend, so I was back to my streaming routine. But a couple of good movies came out. One of them, which I saw, is called Athena, and this is a French film that was released on Netflix this past weekend, and it follows the story of these three brothers that have to deal with the aftermath of the youngest brother. So there's a fourth brother that died, and uh, from what happened at the beginning is it looks like the youngest brother died from some police brutality, and this triggers a whole series of events, including one of the brothers raiding the police station with a group of people, taking things back to their neighborhood, and kind of holding this. And I guess in France, I wouldn't call them like quite like giant projects, but big neighborhoods that have like a lot of big buildings and stuff like that. So of course, who lives in this neighborhood also is two of the other brothers, and now they have to kind of deal with the unrest and the civil violence that's happening in this neighborhood and in the surrounding areas. And the director uses a lot of one take shots, especially at the beginning. So it does a really good job of showing you kind of that fluid motion, especially at the beginning. And this isn't too much of a spoiler of the police station being raided, where they were making the announcement of the brother's death, and following the main character along as things are happening around them, and then as they leave the station and go back to their home. So it was pretty good. There's a lot of themes they put into this movie, a lot of uncertainty, unknowns, reasoning wise, civil unrest, things like that. And they do touch on some of them. Some of them they kind of they leave you to decide or leave us wanting a little more. But if you're a fan of foreign films, if you want to see kind of those engrossing movies where over the course of like a day or two, a lot can happen, definitely check this out. And again, it's called Athena, and it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's definitely impressed me. And then the only other thing I got to check out is I started Andor. With this is of course one of the many Star Wars series, but this is the latest one and actually follows the storyline of one of the characters from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and his introduction to what I would assume is the rebellion and how he got to where he was in Rogue One. So I've only seen the first episode. Diego Luna reprises his role, but so far it's been it's good. It's a little slow moving at the beginning, but it really gives you that intense feeling we haven't had any feeling of, in Obi-Wan, of course, they're Jedi, and even Mandalorian, they're Mandalorians and there's Jedis involved. This has become more of like, how do the people that aren't superpowered live in this universe? And yeah, it's been fun. So those are the two things I've caught up on and what I recommend.
All right. Chike?
Okay. So I don't know about anybody else, but I tuned into Dahmer. I started Friday. And can I just say, I just want to give Niecy Nash
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
some claps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Niecy Nash.
Yeah.
I always knew you were talented, but like you're doing something different here.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing something different. And I'm loving what I'm seeing. And this is like gritty. It's hardcore too. It's like probably it sounds weird because I'm a little macabre, but it's the Dahmer movie that I wanted to see. And even though this is it's like an aspect of what his whole story was. It's an aspect. And it's nice to see the point of view from like the people that actually lived around that madness and what they were going through, having to be in proximity of that. So that's pretty interesting. So if you haven't checked that out on Netflix, check out Dahmer. And it's done by the same production company, Ryan Murphy Productions. that has done stuff like Feud and what was the other one? Versace. And,
Yeah, the OJ one, right?
Yeah, so it's on that caliber. So definitely check it out.
I thought it was really.
And
Oh, sorry. I was going
no, go ahead.
just give my little two something. I thought it was really good as well. A lot of people couldn't even get past the first episode I saw on social media. That's what made me want to watch it. But it did show, especially at that time, the divide, the treatment towards the police, the way they treated Black people in that area versus how they treated white people. You know how many lives would have been saved if they listened to Niecy Nash the first time? But shout out to his grandmother. She saved a lot of lives just by being there. You know what I mean? Just being there in that house. When she allowed him to come stay there. His dad was a complicated person, I thought.
Yeah, he was. I think his dad loved him, but he didn't know how to love him. And I think most of all, he felt guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
I want to shout out the cast a little bit too, Stephen. I know we mentioned Niecy Nash, but Evan Peters is playing the hell out of Jeffrey Dahmer. He really is. And Evan Peters is he if you don't know who Evan Peters is that one guy that was in all of American Horror Stories. He's the only person that's been in every last single season, all the way through from the beginning.
He did that role.
He did. Molly Ringwald, legend. she's starring in it. Richard Jenkins, who plays his dad, he's another ultimate superb actor. And Michael Lerner. Michael Lerner is a legend. If you know the show The Waltons, Michael Lerner played the mom of the Waltons. She's been around for a long time. It was nice to actually see her on the screen because I hadn't heard from her. So it's good to see.
I know she couldn't stand the real grandma. She can't get to sleep at night at all. I mean, every night he had someone over there. I know she was sick of him.
Right?
I know she was sick of him. I was sick of him for her. But
yeah, so that's pretty much it for me for streaming. I mentioned American Gigolo last week, House of Dragons, HBO. What else is going on? Atlanta's back on Hulu. We were starting a new season of Abbott Elementary, so it's a lot going on.
And it didn't disappoint. It did not disappoint.
No, and I don't think it ever will at this point. They're not slowing down. And I'm thinking that they maybe even, because they're so good so early, they may break some records. I don't know which records, but I'm just predicting. You heard it here first. I think Abbott Elementary is going to break some records.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, Stephen. The Woman King.
Oh, Lord.
Let's get into it.
Woo! Right.
We're gonna need a few more words than that for a review.
No, those that they get it, they know it. They got it.
My God.
First of all, can I just say that I wasn't expecting the emotional roller coaster. I was in it for the tribal violence, the fighting. I was in the action. That's what I went for. But it turned out to be a different journey.
How come I was crying? I was crying at different parts. It's like, why am I crying? But
yeah. I felt myself well up. I was like, I'm not going to do that. But it does call for it. And normally I with my friends and I said, no, I'm not resistant to Viola Davis where she can't have a wig on, but if she starts crying and like it's like natural hair, like I can't withstand it. She always makes me cry. But I did this time, but she didn't disappoint. And I'm just like hand claps to every single woman that was a warrior in film because they all conditioned themselves for that role. I don't know what kind of hell you went through, ladies.
They had to work out 5 hours a day. Viola Davis said at 57 years old, 5 hours a day. They did weights and they did the training, so they could be the warriors.
God bless you and thank you for the art. You were committed.
Yes.
It proved house. It was an excellent movie.
It
The
was
cinema
excellent.
was great. The storyline was great. Like everything was great. The costuming was great. Makeup artist was great. Everything was great about this movie. And if it is not nominated for some Academy Awards, like I'm done. Like I'm done with
There's
these.
a boycott if I would have won. I mean, it was great. To me, it's up there with Black Panther. Easily up there with Black Panther.
Yes, it is.
Such a great, like I didn't expect that. I didn't know what to expect really. I knew it'd be warriors and things like that, but it really like I walked away like wow. Like I was like on a high when I walked away. I got to my car, but Viola Davis, she was saying how significant it is for this movie because this is one of the first times you see an all dark-skinned female cast, which typically that's the case. And she said that the reason people need to see this movie because it shows that they can draw numbers. And it did come in #1 last week. But it's a phenomenal movie. Like everyone did a great job.
I just want to say this. I don't know if anybody else has absorbed Viola Davis's biography, but it's an awesome read.
Mhm.
I felt more, I guess, emotional, not even just about the storyline in the movie, because the storyline in the movie is emotional, but I think that this movie is like Viola Davis's opus.
Yeah.
Degree. And I say that only in its approximation to her book. And now knowing her life story and where she's been to now to having this, because she loves art, having this piece of art that is of her culture. It's basically and how great it turned out. So I just feel that I feel that for her. I don't know. I just got
It was a gift to her child self that had run home from school from bullies, racist bullies, and who never was told she was beautiful and all these things. She was a child to herself, but it showed how beautiful she is and how talented she is, and it was the story she wanted to tell. And when I tell you, I would definitely. I'm not one to go watch the same movie 100 times, but I would go watch that one again. It was really good. It was really good. And all the cast, shout out to the cast, like those women, those ladies, and the one that I don't want to give anything away, but the youngest one, she was a breakout star to me. She did an amazing job as well. So
yes, she did.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I didn't see anything else.
Okay. Well, I was gonna talk about Woman King, which you talked about it. Dahmer, I watched that. But this surprised me. The Jasmine's Blues. Tyler Perry, his new movie.
Oh yeah.
It was the first play he ever wrote. And he knew that he had to be successful. That's why he came out with the Medea things and all that. So he could get that following. But he said now he's interested in doing movies that he really wanted to do. And this one is really, really good. It's surprising. That's probably one of his best non-Medea movies he's ever done for me. It was well written. It was the actors did a great job. So essentially, me giving it away, it's this family. They live in the South somewhere. I forgot where they live. But Georgia. They're in Georgia. Someplace I never heard of. But and so it's a mom, her husband. Well, basically, it's a love story. It's about two teenagers who they would sneak out and meet at night. They both had their situations at home. His dad, I don't think it was his real biological dad. He treated him horribly. And the mom was always defending him. The mom is actually, she did an amazing job. She's actually the woman who plays on How to Give Away Murder that worked with Viola Davis, the light-skinned woman. She plays the mom. She does a phenomenal job. And so it's her husband, and then her two sons, the one who ended up being the Jasmine, and his brother. His brother, that was his biological dad who lived in the home. The dad left them to go take on a music career in Chicago. He took their life savings and whatever. And so the brother ended up doing the same thing. He went to go find his find his dad, and he went on and did his thing too, except for he got hooked on heroin. And so he would come visit, and he would tell all these stories about, you know, living in the limelight, whatever. And the moms, they had been family been trying to convince her to move to this other affluent area in Georgia. And she ended up doing that, and she opened up a juke joint. So she would perform every night. So when her son would come home, he would perform. And then one day, so when he came home, he brought his manager with him, who was from the UK.
Yeah, and don't forget to mention the time period too. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah,
this is not modern day.
1940s, 40s, I believe. And so he, the manager came with the brother, and he was trying to get him gigs. You know, he promised he would get him gigs. And so he said, we need something different. So one day the mom asked the jazzmen to sing, asked him to sing, you know, at the juke joint like they do all the time. And the manager was impressed. So he took both of them. Well, okay, I got to slow down. So they were going to Chicago for an audition that he had gotten the brother. The girlfriend that he was sneaking out to see, she was moving because her mom pretty much lied and said that if she didn't go with her, that she was gonna say that he raped her, and you know, he'd probably go to jail or whatever. So he ended up going with them to Chicago, gets the gig. He gets the gig. His brother is playing backup for him. His brother is jealous of him the whole time because he's become this big person. Everyone's come from all over the country to see him. And so, long story short, the woman shows back up in his life, except for she was a very fair-skinned woman, and she was passing as a white woman. So she was married to this guy who was going to be the mayor of the town they lived in. And so it all plays out in a weird way. Tragic ending, but it plays out.
You basically told us the whole movie by now.
I didn't, trust me. There's so much I could say, but it's really, really good. And it was really good. It was really good. And the actor that plays the jazzman, he actually, I believe that's his real voice. He has a very good voice, and he did a great job. The guy who played his brother is actually on this show on BET Plus called Sisters. He plays an attorney on there, so it was interesting seeing him in a different character. And I believe his singing voice was his voice too. It sounded the same as his talking voice. And the mom, she can sing. I didn't know she could sing in real life. That actress, but it was really, really good. I have to say, it was good.
Doesn't normally really deal with people that aren't multi-talented, like because I think he likes to make, that was the wrong word. He likes to have interchangeable people because if you're in his movie, his TV shows, you're also in his plays as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was good, and I could definitely see this going on Broadway or something like that. You know what I mean? Because it's musical, and you can.
So would you say it was a musical?
It wasn't like they were singing every 5 minutes. You know, some of the musicals.
Yeah, the trailer didn't make it seem like a musical, and you can watch it on Netflix. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, and it's not a musical, but there are musical performances. Because the mom, she sings a joint. He's performing here at this top billing place in Chicago and different things like that. But it's not a musical. But it was good. It was a very good plot, and the ending was just you kind of knew what was going to happen, but you didn't know how it was going to happen. I'll say that.
Thanks.
Shut up, Al. I'm not a movie reviewer, but it was good.
I could tell.
Anything coming down the pipeline?
Well, I got to see The Woman King, obviously. But also, Chike, did you already talk about the film festival last weekend, or did I miss that? Okay.
Lania talked about it. That was more so her trip.
Okay.
I was collecting stardust off her trail.
Okay, I'll watch Hot Topics then.
It was awesome. It was wonderful. It was everything. I didn't see one single film, and I was just explaining to Steven that it seemed more like a convention to me than
okay.
Only because I didn't partake in any of the film part. It was more so I went to the panels and the symposium.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good. Met a lot of nice people. Got a new deal.
Nice.
Oh, one thing they did, which I'd already seen the trailer, but they while watching The Woman King, they played the trailer for the upcoming Whitney Houston biopic. This is the one the families.
What do you think about that? We were talking about that actually at the film festival. What do you think about that?
It looks like it's going to be good, but I wish that they would have done this and not those other sub movies. You know what I mean? Because everyone's heard the story 100 times. But I do like looking at the trailer and seeing clips. They did a good job with the costumes and with they got to use her real voice. So none of the other movies were able to do that. But the actress that's playing Whitney, she's getting some negative feedback because she doesn't like Whitney, but like someone said, Angela Bassett doesn't like Tina Turner. You know what I mean? But because she's already getting Oscar buzz for this role.
Wow.
Like she's on one of the top contender lists, like the top 10. And so I'll be curious to see how it plays out. The one thing that was interesting in the trailer was like 2 minutes long. They only show one thing of Bobby Brown, and that's when they're getting married, and they show it from behind. And it seems like it's going to be a positive movie, but they said they're not shying away from the drug use and whatnot. But the trailer, you can tell it's really focused on her talent and not really her struggle. So I'll be curious to see how they tell the story, especially with the family being involved, Clive Davis being involved, whatnot. But it looks like it'll be good.
Okay. I'm skeptical, but okay.
It comes out in December, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Christmas.
Right. The good thing is they could use her voice, which is great. Because the other movie, like the one Angela Bassett produced, they had Deborah Cox singing, so we'll see. All right. Well, guys, thanks as always for letting us know what to spend our time and money on, what not. Hope you have a great week, and we'll be right back after this.
Thanks.